Welcome back into the Viking Central podcast. We are going to look into the week one matchup, preseason matchup, Vikings versus Raiders. It's a long time coming. It's here finally on Saturday. They play at 3 o'clock at US Bank Stadium. Again, Vikings versus Raiders. Going to be fun. Obviously, we're going to see, hopefully, a lot of JJ McCarthy. Are we going to see Sam Darnold? What's that going to look like? Is he going to sit down and just watch from the sideline? That could be a really big telling sign what happens there. Before we hop into the video, I want to shout out our sponsors. That's Badass Wood Art. Use code VC15 at checkout for 15% off your order. I'll put a link in the description for them. And also, Playbook Products. Use code Vikings Central at checkout for 20% off your order. I'll also put the link in the description there. And you guys can find some great stuff at both of those small businesses. Support them, support us. It would mean the world. All right. Going back to our JJ McCarthy and Sam Darnold talk, the situation that's going on there. I talked about this with Ryan, my co-host, and Rick Sosa a little bit as well. And Rick made this point that, Sam Darnold, this is going to be the big talker. If he plays a series or two versus the Raiders, that's going to show that maybe this is a little bit more of a competition than some people think. Because if they're set in stone that Sam Darnold is going to be the starter come week one, they're not going to play him. But if they do, they want to see a little bit more of Darnold in this offense. And they also want to see how he does in live game action, which I would not blame them at all for doing that, because Sam Darnold hasn't done much in his career to really lead up to any point where he shouldn't be playing preseason football, because he has not been successful anywhere. And I know he's never had a cast of wide receivers and running backs and tight ends like that he has in Minnesota here. But at the same time, you can't expect him to come in and, play well right away, even if you are playing a pretty mediocre Giants team come week one. So I think he should get a couple series and see what he looks like. And he's not going to be throwing the football to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. He's going to be throwing it to guys like Brandon Powell, maybe Jalen Naylor, depending on how much run they get. Guys like Thayer Thomas, guys like Lucky Jackson, Tristan Jackson, throwing it to backup tight ends like Nick Muse and Johnny Munt. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. I think JJ McCarthy is going to get a good amount of playing time, if it's not a quarter, maybe 2 quarters. And then I'm not sure if Nick Mullins is going to play at all, but then obviously Jaron Hall as well. And I know they want to sneak Jaron Hall onto the practice squad, but at the same time, he's got to get those in-game reps. And they really don't want him probably to get any other looks from other teams, because if they do keep Darnold, McCarthy, and Mullins, they're going to try to slide Hall over to the practice squad, and he's probably going to get snatched up pretty quickly. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings also maybe attempt to trade Nick Mullins if they are really happy with where JJ McCarthy is. And it seems like they are happy with what he's done so far this training camp. So, if you could garner a 6th, 7th round pick for Nick Mullins, that's someone that needs a high-end backup, you probably do it. And then you could obviously put Jaron Hall on the active roster, the active 53-man, as a third quarterback. So that's my number one thing to look for there. Another thing to look for is these undrafted rookies that have been getting really decent amount of snaps with the first and second team in training camp. And again, it's just training camp, but guys like Levi Drake Rodriguez, Dwight McGlothern, those are the 2 that come to my mind. Also Gabriel Murphy as well. He was a little banged up, but it sounds like he's going to be okay. So those 3 UDFAs, like, how much are they going to play, and what do they look like in live game action? Because obviously they're pretty happy with where they are if they're sliding them into the first and second teams pretty regularly. So it's going to be fun to watch to see what kind of impact they make, and if they are truly ready for the highest level at the NFL. So it's going to be fun to watch those guys, see what they look like, because they are UDFAs, and to see, again, if they actually belong in the NFL, and maybe be in a rotation on the defense, since all 3 of those guys are on the defense. Another thing I do want to look at, so it's quarterbacks, the UDFAs. What's the playing time look like for Lewis Cine and Andrew Booth Jr.? Are they just going to get thrown out there? I know Cine's been banged up, but it sounds like they've been easing him back in. So I don't know if he's even going to play on Saturday. But once he does, how what does that look like? Is he going to play the whole game like he did pretty much last preseason? Andrew Booth Jr. What do you look like? Are you truly an actual bust, or you just need a new home, a new scenery? I don't think we're going to be able to get him anything for him in a trade, but are they truly cut candidates at the end of the day? Former first round and second round pick, and that's just does not look good for that 2022 draft class. Those are my main three things I did want to talk about real quick. Obviously, the big one, quarterback, some UDFAs, and some former high draft picks that just haven't been working out. My honorable mention is the specialist. Will Reichard's got the kicking job down, but how does he look? Is he going to nail some kicks through the uprights? Hopefully he has a perfect preseason. Maybe go 2 for 2 on Saturday, maybe a 53-yarder or so. Just get that confidence going and give the confidence for the fan base as well. And then obviously the punting competition that is actually a pretty real battle against Ryan Wright and Seth Vernon. Vernon's got a humongous leg. Ryan Wright's kind of a fan favorite around here, but hasn't had the greatest year or two after he beat out, was it his last name was Barry? I can't remember his first name, but he's been the Vikings punter for the last couple of years. Are they looking for an upgrade in Seth Vernon? Well, we'll see if they get it and see what it looks like in the preseason game. Like, hopefully we don't have to pump too much, but who's going to get the majority of the punts come Saturday? Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you in the next one. God bless.